Good morning, everyone. T-Speaker222 XRP Future Millionaire with the side bet on XLM and Future Digibud OG. So I wanted to give you a quick update to show you what is potentially starting to develop. How we were talking about, we'll get this minor push probably back to the, I don't know if it's going to make it all the way to the top side. But if you look at, and this is, I understand this is slightly different because we had more of a pennant forming out of Iota than looking at something like XRP, which if you pull it back far enough looks fine until it starts invalidating itself. But with Iota, we've come up a lot bigger ways and it looks a little different in the pattern. So we can measure this many different ways, but Iota, we looked at it yesterday and thought it could come back up, and that's what I had drawn. But I don't know if it's going to break to the top side of this or not. That's the problem. It has a firm bottom that we had put down there. But we don't know if Iota is going to come back down, or we don't know if this is a fake out. So I would say a good thing to do right here, which I would almost say it's going to be a fake out, but the good thing to do here is to watch how this reacts with the upper part of the triangle and see if this can push up to that 180 like we had drawn up. But to me, that's a risk. But if you're in it, you're in it, and there's no reason to, you know, I mean, there is a reason to be worried, because if Bitcoin falls through this, you're fucked. Everything will fall through, even Algo, for a moment. Or, you know, nothing's guaranteed. So with Algo, we know what happens if we break up out of the pennant. But if we break down out of the pennant, and let's say Bitcoin collapses and it just takes everything with it, if this were to break down out of the pennant, you can come all the way back down, and we showed you both sides of it yesterday. There's more of a chance of it breaking up, but with terrible market conditions and Bitcoin crashing, you never know. It can take everything with it. So the two ways it can go, and you would expect it to break up out of a pennant. In the 4-hour time frame. So if it broke up, you're looking at over $3. But if it breaks down, and that's why it's always a risk with these with the way the market is. Nothing ever says. XRP was in a pennant as well. At $1.35, it looked like it was going to go to $1.81. What happened? It went from $1.35 to 93 cents. That's the difference. It could have went to $1.80 or 90 cent range, and it ended up breaking down and going to 90 cent. Algo can either go all the way up to $3 plus if it were to break up out of the pennant, but if it breaks down out of the pennant, it's coming all the way down to 85 cents. Actually, it'd probably be more aligned with this bottom right here, so you could be hunting somewhere down here, but you could come all the way down here. That's the problem, and that's the risk in this kind of a market. You would expect it to go up, but like I said, with Bitcoin, who says Bitcoin, even though it's on a who says Bitcoin couldn't turn this around? Just because it's Bitcoin and everything's collapsing, nobody says this has to go up. This could have a major pullback before a push up. But we're looking at it from a technical perspective, and out of the bull pennant, this should break up. But with the conditions of Bitcoin, it always makes things very fucking tricky, because if Bitcoin collapses, you know as well as I do, Algo's going to $1.83. Easy. Easy. That's not even a question. That's easy. So that's why it's like, where do you buy it? And yesterday I said don't buy it at $2.10. I was thinking around $1.90. Some people were buying it. $1.83 would be a good spot if you think it's going to break up. Well, Tom, how do we know if we should bail on Algo? Well, that's a hell of a question, and I'm going to tell you. If you don't like what I'm doing, if you don't appreciate the technical analysis, or you think I'm a moron, well, good. Hit that dislike button. If you're here to disrupt, if you're here to be a dickweed, or if you're here to just be a plain-out douchebag, well, get the fuck out. If you don't like XRP, if you don't like the ISO 20022 coins, or if you just don't like being given free information, well, you found the wrong place. If you'd like to hit that like button, I would greatly appreciate it. Also, hit that fucking like or dislike button, honestly. If you don't like this, if you hate what I'm doing, hit the fucking dislike button. I don't give two shits. Just understand what you're looking at, because if these break up in either way that I'm showing you, these are the projected targets out of a pennant. So this is what you have to look at, and you need to pay attention. Also, if you're new to the channel or returning, hit that subscribe button. There's just no reason not to. Turn that bell notification to all so you get these up-to-the-minute, up-to-the-date updates. You also have the opportunity to join Tom's Army if you would like, or send a donation to the community fund so that I can do special things for the community. That is all in the video description below. So with XRP, we're talking about the same thing over and over because it's honestly, there's nothing else to talk about until we break this pennant one way or the other, which we're trying to come through the pennant right now to the bottom side, which would be interesting. But until we break that one way or the other, we're just going to trade between this. Like I said yesterday and the day before, we trade between the pennant. So if you're on the bottom side of the pennant, you buy. You ride it to the top side. But now we're getting over here, and now the potential is getting smaller. All the gains get smaller as the pennant goes because it tightens up. We're getting closer. We have to make a move. And you see how low the volume is? That's not a good sign. Anybody who says otherwise out of a bear pennant is full of shit. And they have no fucking idea how to look at the charts. Most of it will say paid promotion next to the video. And it's exactly that, a paid fucking promotion, because they're paid to give you the analysis that the promoter wants. It's that fucking simple. You'll never see paid promotion next to my video. Because if I'm getting a paid promotion, it's not my fucking opinion. It's somebody else's. You can debate that all you fucking want, but if somebody paid me to say something, I would fucking say it. Because I want to get paid, if that was my mindset. I don't want to get paid through that kind of bullshit, and I've turned down so many of those stupid paid promotions that would make your guys' heads fucking explode. And I've shared many examples in the classes I teach. So, I mean, with XRP, it's up to you. This is where it's, do you want to take the gamble? Because a lot of people are on YouTube saying we're going up over here because we're going to break up out of this pennant, even though it's a bear pennant. So, from a technical target and a technical standpoint, there's no reason it should break up. So, if market conditions in Bitcoin exploded, well, yeah, then obviously it could break up. I still think it could get to $1.23 before we outright collapse. I've been saying that for a long time, that we could get back up to here, to where we made that false breakout, pulled us through. We could. There's always scenarios where you have false breakups before you have a flash drop down or a huge major drop. This looks like hell. Like, this literally and figuratively looks like hell, this chart. It was looking great. When it was right here, guys, remember when I came on when I had the close and I said, all right, we need to watch to see if it's a fake out? Because when it had that close, I was honestly within 24 hours of telling you guys we were going to have a huge, massive breakout, but the next daily candle fucked us. I honestly was looking at this and had this of just did its consolidation, did this, and got to this point. I was thinking we were getting way up here, remember? If we were going to break up out of the pennant. But what happened? We had a fake breakout up here, which, for all intents and purposes, it didn't miss it by a lot. But on the very next candle, guys, we ended up taking the exact length of the pennant down. So, fake breakout 1, fake breakout 2, fake breakout 3, followed by the drop of the length of the pennant. And now we're in this pennant, which ironically is the exact same size, except it's slightly larger. So now we've had one fake out up, just like before. Could we have another fake out up before we outright collapse? Sure. Or could we do what it did on the last side and fake us out to the downside and bounce up? That's what we're watching, because if we have a close over a certain level or a close under a certain level, which in my opinion, I don't care if people on YouTube keep saying $1.02 or $1.03 for the daily close to make it bearish. I think anything under $1, let me see that 99 cent. Let me see anything less than triple digits, that psychological number, and then we'll know. I want to see it close under $1 before I'm going to say we're going all the way down to 60 cents. Just me. Because the daily candles can pull down and then pull right back up. And just like in the same breath, I want to see it close over $1.30 in this kind of a scenario before I would say, okay, we got a chance to go back up in the bullish direction. We're a lot closer to $1 than we are to $1.30. That's because we're on a bear pennant. So we're going to be on the downside of the price targets. So pay attention, be alert. I'll update you when appropriate. I mean, that's basically all I can tell you, because if you're not paying attention or you think I'm a fucking moron, well, too fucking bad, and get the fuck out, because you're either going to get with it or get the fuck out. And if you don't get with it, your portfolio is going to get the fuck out of your pocket, because you're not going to have enough money to trade with when we get to the bottom of this shit. Is it worth the 25 or 20 or 15% chance it goes up? Or are you better off sitting there if you're not in a position and waiting to see what it reacts to out of this pennant? Because if you make the wrong decision, you can kiss 45 to 50% of your portfolio away on a brutal drop if it makes the, a full-fledged drop out of this pennant. Because it's a awfully big pennant, which is going to induce an awfully big move down. Or we can get faked out and let's wait so that we know to buy back in and we can make a shitload of money off of all this stuff. But don't get yourself caught with your pants down in no man's land, because this is the epitome of no man's land, and this is in fact where dead money goes to die.